back to another collection video. This time I'll be going through my PS3 games. So let's get started. The first one I have here is a Sur's Wrath. It's kind of a ridiculous game. It's very scripted. A lot of button prompts. Very story heavy, but it's very different. Here's Resistance: Fall of Man. This is actually a series that I never really cared for too much until the third one. I don't know where the second one is, but it's in here somewhere. Yeah, here's the third one though. This is the one that really I got the most fun out of. I could follow the story pretty well. I liked all the weapons. I don't know, the first two were really like unmemorable, especially compared to other games in the genre. Here's the infamous collection. I think I liked the second one a little more. Both have repetitious tendencies, but they're both really enjoyable. I don't really care for the main character all that much, though, unfortunately. Here's Dragon's Crown. I actually never finished this game. I was playing with a buddy, and we just never ended up coming back to it and finishing it. I love the art style, though, despite all the bullshit controversy. I think it looks great, and it played great. I'm not sure if it's one of those games that I'll ever finish, though, just because there's so many others to play and so little time. Another one, I actually haven't even started this, because I picked it up because I've heard so many great things about Silent Hill 2. And then this game had a load of controversy because of bugs and the decision to remove fog. So I just put it off because of all that negative publicity. But I hear it fixed for the PS3 version, unfortunately not for the Xbox. So I'll for sure play that soon. Yes, Final Fantasy 13. This is gonna be bad, but I really liked Final Fantasy 13. This is actually my first Final Fantasy, which isn't something Final Fantasy fans want to hear. But, it's very linear, and in the same vein as Pokemon, you're pressing a single button a lot. But I think I got kind of caught up in the world and the soundtrack. The characters and story were a little melodramatic for my taste. There really should be no reason why I like this game, but for some reason I do. And here's its sequel. Kind of on the same vein. A little more fun, though, I would say. Final Fantasy 13-2. Which is ridiculous. Here's Little Big Planet. This is the Game of the Year edition. Fun game, but the controls kind of bug me a little bit. Look at this, it says not for resale. Whoops. Yeah, I liked the presentation and everything, but playing it was kind of frustrating. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, not the best game, for sure, but it's a lot of fun to explore Hogwarts and whatnot. I got it when it first came out, and I had fun then. I don't know if I'll ever revisit this game. I'm just looking on the back; it looks really outdated already. I always wished for like the perfect Harry Potter game. I don't think we ever got it. We got some good ideas in each of the games, but there were some huge flaws in every single one. 3D Dot Game Heroes, a game I never got around to playing. It was one of the first PS3 games I picked up, but other things got my attention away, and I never got around to it. It looks like something I would love. Very Zelda inspired. But yeah. Tales of Symphonia, another one I haven't played. There are a lot of PS3 games I haven't got around to. I've heard a lot of great things about the first one. This includes Dawn of the New World. And of course, no manual, which kind of bugs me. Yeah, another inclusion to my backlog. Here's the Sly Collection. So I never had a PlayStation growing up, so I didn't really have nostalgia driving me to play these games. But I picked this up anyway because it was $12 new, and I beat the first one, and it was really easy. I mean, obviously, because it's made for kids, I'm sure, but really easy. Nothing really interesting about it that I found. I'm sorry for you Sly Cooper fans out there. And I don't know if the second one or the third one gets better, but I just found the first game to be okay. And because I didn't play it as a kid, I didn't really have all these, nostalgia goggles on. Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. I had some fun with this game. It's really long for like an action game like this. Barely a manual in here. I never really got into the Castlevania games, but I picked this one up because it was relatively cheap, and I had some fun with it. I like the gothic horror style. I really love Bloodborne. That one's more like Victorian style, but both has that gothic horror and the architecture and the enemies and stuff. Tales of Grace's F. Yep, you guessed it. Another game for the backlog. It's a lot of these JRPGs that I just never got around to. I either got them as a gift or picked them up because they were cheap. And then, because I know that JRPGs require a huge chunk of time, I get put off, and I keep, putting the game off, and then just never going back to revisit it. So let's continue this. Look at Tales of Exilia, which hasn't even been opened yet. Sealed and everything. Yeah, I unfortunately can't say much about these because I haven't played them yet. And then, yeah, this is the one that I think I'll be trying to complete next. This is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I've been on a Studio Ghibli kick lately. I've watched a bunch of the films, and in terms of my JRPG backlog, I think this is going to be number one because I love that studio, and I know they had a helping hand in this. Them in Level 5. So yeah, I think this will be the next game I try to complete out of my backlog. And speaking of backlog, so I've played. This is the Ratchet and Clank series. So I've played the collection here. I completed the collection. I enjoyed it a lot actually, but I haven't gotten around to the two newer ones for PS3. Again, because I never had a PlayStation growing up. I was always Nintendo or Xbox. So, those are on my list of backlog as well. But let's get to a game that I've actually played. Batman Arkham Asylum. Great fucking game. I think Asylum is my favorite out of the two. I haven't picked up Arkham Knight yet, and I haven't tried Origins because I've heard mixed things. But I think Asylum is my favorite because it felt like the most Metrovania in a way. It was still a lengthy game, but it was on a smaller scale. You were trapped in the asylum, and it's the first in the series, so that always tends to be, have a bigger impact on you. That's not to say Arkham City is bad by any means. Arkham City is a great fucking game as well. I think there's even some things it does better than Asylum, but I think because Asylum's the first one, it's always going to be my favorite. I am excited to try out Arkham Knight. Oh, here's Resistance 2. I played these games, but I honestly, I don't even remember them. They're so bland and boring, except for the third one, which is why I'm kind of disappointed. They went away from something colorful and fun and creative like Ratchet and Clank to boring brown drab shooter. But I think they're letting the series go, and I know they're remaking the first Ratchet and Clank for PS4, which should be pretty nice. Max Payne 3, great game. Extremely violent, very narrative heavy, but the shootouts are a total blast. Jumping in slow motion never got old. LA Noire, I really liked LA Noire. I had some problems with it, but the interrogations and the investigations, I think, were a total blast. Oh, I'm dropping shit. My biggest complaints were probably the scripted events, like the car chases. It just feels like you're not playing a game. You're just following instructions because everything's played out the same. Like a car chase should be dynamic and exciting and fun, but eventually I'm like, oh, this car is just taking a certain path. And some of the shooter, the third-person shooting sections were also a little boring. Jack and Daxter Collection. So once again, another PS2, maybe PlayStation 1, I'm not positive, collection. I've only beaten the first one. I've been meaning to go play the second and third. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Some of the stuff felt a little outdated, but I liked it. Disgaea 4, another JRPG you can put in my backlog. I've heard good things about it. And holy shit, it comes with a pretty nice manual. You don't normally see manuals this thick. Although this is a few years old, so. try to see if there's any cool artwork. But God of War Collection. So, I played the first two, and I had a lot of fun playing them. Haven't gotten around to playing the third, and I'm not sure if I should decide to play it on my collection here, or wait until the remaster for PlayStation 4 drops in price and just play the nicer one. So yeah, I haven't quite decided on that yet. I'll probably just play the one I have, because I don't even know if God of War for PlayStation 4 hits 60 frames per second or anything. Vanquish, a fucking ridiculous game, but really, really fun. It's like Gears of War with jetpacks and rocket packs, and it's really exciting, and I like both kind of games. Kind of in-your-face, fast-moving, fast-paced shooters, but Gears of War, I also love the tactical, hide behind cover. Both I think are great. Injustice, Gods Among Us. This was like the go-to college game for my buddies and I. A lot of fun. Story mission was even pretty fun. I think Catwoman was my favorite to play, and it felt good beating people with Catwoman, because I'd always pick Bane or some giant dude. Alright, I got another double JRPG backlog for you. Final Fantasy X and X2 remaster, and then Kingdom of Hearts. Yeah, not much to say because I haven't played either, but I'm like making this video is making me realize that I need to start completing these games, finding the time just to go through it, because I don't like having unfinished games. Yeah, and I hear they're remaking this already for PlayStation 4. I'm not positive, but Yakuza 3, the Asian GTA. Although you could argue that Sleeping Dogs is the Asian GTA, but in either case, since this is Japanese, you can make that argument. Really fun game, really weird, but entertaining. Not perfect, but I had some fun with it. Valkyria Chronicles. I actually haven't played the PS3 version, but I picked up the Steam copy, and I played through it on that, and it was a load of fun. I know there's one for PSP or PS Vita or something, but I'm hoping they make another one for PS4 or PC or whatever. Folklore, another game to my backlog. I think this is a role-playing game, and I hear it's very underrated. This has a thick manual as well. I think there's something in the middle. Oh, it's a little mail-in card. You can. So yeah, this is really showing its age. Looks like it has some cool artwork and stuff. Yeah, just another game for the backlog. Dragon Age Origins. Started the game but never finished it. I know, by now you've probably shut this video off because you're wondering if I even play games at all. Alright, Heavy Rain. I really liked Heavy Rain. It was really unique for me because I hadn't played a game like it at the time. And all the choices and heavy dramatic moments were great. The plot holes are obnoxious after completing it, though. Oh, it's a little silly. But yeah, I still really, I had a fun time playing it. Devil May Cry HD Collection. Another game you can add to the backlog. I've played Devil May Cry 4, and I really liked it. And I found this for fairly cheap. There's a huge dent in the back. I don't know if you can see that right here. So I picked this up just out of, because I figured I'd play them, but I figured wrong. Catherine. Great game. If you haven't played Catherine, play Catherine. Your friends or your family catch you playing it, they might give you some weird looks, but it's like a dating sim and a puzzle game, and it's so weird, but it somehow works. And I had a lot of fun playing it. In fact, I've been meaning to replay it. I did have to move the difficulty to easy, I'll admit that. It is extremely hard and requires a lot of patience and a lot of trial and error. So keep that in mind. That's only really the one negative I have against it. It was so brutal. Alright. Here is Uncharted. Love Uncharted. I mean, if you have a PlayStation 3, this is like the game you had to have Uncharted. The first one's a little shaky in parts in terms of gameplay, but it looks great. Acting was great. All the fun performances and writing. I still think Uncharted 2 is my favorite out of the trilogy. Just the set pieces and the graphics were ridiculous. And Uncharted 3 was still a lot of fun to play. Yeah, the games looked gorgeous, and I know they're releasing a collection. I'm almost considering just selling these 3 and just waiting until the collection's like $20 and just having the definitive version of all 3. Alright, you're all gonna kill me again, but I haven't played either 2 of these. Shadow of the Colossus is probably either 1 or 2 next to Ni no Kuni in my backlog, because everyone you've ever talked to about video games says it's one of the best. Either that or that is just a really great game. So I started, and I tend to like slower games and more dreamlike, creative, artsy kind of games, but this one just kind of bored me. I was unfortunate to find out. Here's Dragon's Dogma. I played this on the 360, and then I had to sell some games, and I picked up Dark Arisen for the PS3, and it is still sealed. I haven't opened it yet. I just saw that it was announced that it was coming to PC. Am I right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Either way, great game with some annoyances for sure, but it's a great game. Beyond Two Souls, David Cage's next outing. I haven't even played this one. I picked it up pretty recently, actually, even after I had my PS4. But I knew I liked Heavy Rain, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And I just haven't yet. I haven't gotten the time for it. And judging from all these goddamn games I haven't played yet, it might have to wait a while. So this one still has the sticker from when I bought it at a yard sale, but if you can't tell from the back, this is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is the dumbest title ever. But it is an incredible game. Super fun. even though I've never played a Metal Gear game, I still had a lot of fun with it. It was more hack and slash game than like the stealth operation, whatever. I'm like half asleep. But yeah, loads of fun. Alright. Demon Souls. Fucking love Demon Souls. I love this entire series. This is the series that kind of reignited my love for gaming, because I was in college and I was kind of just, I didn't really have an urge to play any games, and then on a whim I picked this up fairly cheap, and I beat the whole thing through in like a weekend. Maybe like a week. I don't know, a weekend. I'm not that good, but it kicked my ass. But the world and the tight gameplay, the extremely fair but challenging gameplay was so addicting. But I think Dark Souls is my favorite. I think it's a close tie between those two, if anything. Just the world in Dark Souls, how everything's connected, the bonfire system with the Estus flasks, everything was just such an improvement. But like the Batman games, it's like the first one you play in a series always held a special place in your heart. But I think Dark Souls is the better game, and it's amazing. And then the redhead stepchild, which is Dark Souls 2. It's almost like a really good fan-made game, like a great fan-made Dark Souls game, which isn't an insult. I'm trying not to make it seem like a bad game, but it pales in comparison to the original 2, in my opinion. But it's still a lot of fun in terms of gameplay. But the art style and the world and the characters, everything like took 2 steps back for me. And to finish this, probably one of my favorite games on the PS3, The Last of Us. Everyone and their mother sings praises of this game, and it's 100% justified because it's incredible. It's an amazing stealth third-person game. Fantastic visuals, great story, great characters, great voice acting, great writing, great pacing. It's a long game, but I never really felt it. It felt its length. It was always paced very well. There was very intense moments, and then a lot of slower moments where you would just hang out with Ellie. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this game and its expansion. I love the expansion too. Left Behind, I think it's called. So yeah, there's my PS3 collection. I have a lot of work to do, but hopefully that was relaxing for you. And I might come back and do another collection video of something else. So until then, alright, have a good one, guys.